Can you imagine spending serious money on a brand new SUV only to watch its value evaporate before your eyes? I am not talking about electric vehicles here. These are traditional gas-powered SUVs that have become absolute money pits in 2026. Buyers are avoiding them like the plague, and if you happen to own one, your bank account has already taken a massive hit. Today, we are breaking down the 15 most financially disastrous new SUVs that will drain your wallet dry. Let us dive in from the least terrible to the absolute worst. Number 15. Audi Q7. Kicking off our countdown is the 2025 Audi Q7. This three-row German luxury SUV seems impressive on the surface, but dig deeper and you will find a depreciation nightmare waiting to happen. According to IC Cars data, the Q7 sheds approximately 61% of its original value after 5 years on the road. That means your $66,000 luxury SUV could be worth around $26,000 when it is time to sell or trade. What is driving this value collapse? For starters, Audi's 2025 refresh was disappointingly minor. They tweaked the infotainment and made some cosmetic changes, but mechanically it is nearly identical to models from several years ago. In a segment where competitors constantly push boundaries, standing still means falling behind. The luxury SUV market moves at lightning speed, and buyers looking at used options quickly realize they can get essentially the same vehicle for significantly less by buying a couple years older. When new models offer marginal improvements, there is little incentive to pay the premium. Next up is the 2025 BMW X5. According to Car Edge analysis, this popular luxury SUV drops roughly 55% to 59% of its value within 5 years of ownership. That steep value loss hits owners hard. When you are starting at over $81,000 for a base model, that translates to tens of thousands in lost value. The X5 sells in massive numbers. BMW produced over 160,000 units in 2021 alone, and that volume works against residual values. When supply outpaces demand in the used market, prices suffer. German luxury vehicles also carry a reputation for expensive maintenance once warranties expire. Potential second owners factor in these ownership costs, which pushes used prices down further. Insurance premiums add another layer of expense that scares off budget-conscious used car shoppers. If you want to enjoy an X5 without the depreciation pain, experts suggest looking at short-term leases or finding a 2- or 3-year-old example where someone else absorbed the steepest portion of the value drop. The Land Rover Discovery carries a legendary nameplate, but that heritage is not protecting your investment. IC Cars projects the Discovery will lose approximately 61% of its sticker price after 5 years. This current generation has been around since 2018, with only a mild refresh in 2021. In the rapidly evolving luxury SUV world, that makes it ancient. Buyers have plenty of fresher alternatives to consider. Making matters worse, Land Rover's own Defender has stolen the Discovery's thunder. The Defender offers more rugged capability and trendier styling, leaving the Discovery without a clear identity. When your own brand competes against you, it is tough to maintain demand. Reliability concerns that have long plagued Land Rover continue to erode buyer confidence. The complicated electronics and air suspension systems that deliver the luxurious driving experience also lead to expensive repair bills down the road. Number 12. Mercedes-Benz GLS. The 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLS represents the pinnacle of three-row luxury SUVs, but that prestige comes with serious depreciation consequences. According to IC Cars data, this flagship loses around 56% of its value over 5 years. With pricing starting near $90,000 and climbing past $166,000 for loaded examples, we're talking about value losses potentially exceeding $90,000 in 5 years. That's new car money evaporating into thin air. The GLS competes against vehicles like BMW X7 and Cadillac Escalade in a segment where buyers typically lease rather than purchase. When wealthy buyers hand these vehicles back at lease end, they flood the used market with low-mileage luxury SUVs. That surplus hammers resale values for everyone else. Complex AMG variants with thirsty engines face additional headwinds as fuel costs remain a concern for many buyers. Number 11. Infiniti QX60. The Infiniti QX60 offers family-friendly practicality, but it is hemorrhaging value at an alarming rate. According to IC Cars research, the QX60 loses roughly 61.5% of its value after 5 years on the road. Uncertainty about Infiniti's future hangs over every purchase decision. Rumors about whether Nissan will discontinue its luxury division have created doubt among buyers. Nobody wants to own a vehicle from a brand that might not exist in a few years. When the latest QX60 debuted, reviewers noted it was not particularly competitive despite improvements over the previous generation. The powertrain felt uninspiring, and the premium pricing seemed hard to justify against better-established competitors from Lexus and Acura. Without a compelling reason to choose Infiniti, used buyers simply look elsewhere, leaving QX60 owners holding a depreciating asset nobody wants. The Lincoln Navigator L is Ford's answer to the Cadillac Escalade, but it is losing this battle in the resale arena. According to IC Cars data, the extended-length Navigator sheds over 60% of its original value after 5 years, translating to losses exceeding $62,000. In the full-size luxury SUV segment, the Navigator L actually depreciates faster than many competitors. The Infiniti QX80 and Range Rover fare worse, but that is not exactly inspiring company to keep. Lincoln's brand perception continues to struggle against Cadillac's recent resurgence. The Escalade commands attention and respect in ways the Navigator simply cannot match in 2026. Extended wheelbase versions face even steeper drops because the market for these massive vehicles is inherently smaller than standard-length competitors. Speaking of extended wheelbase models, the Cadillac Escalade ESV loses approximately 63% of its value after 5 years according to IC Cars analysis. On a vehicle that can approach $170,000 fully loaded, that depreciation curve is absolutely brutal. The standard Escalade holds value slightly better than its stretched sibling, likely because the regular version finds more buyers. The ESV's massive footprint limits its appeal to families who genuinely need that third-row space. When Kelley Blue Book analyzed 2020 Escalades, they found depreciation exceeding 55% after 5 years, dropping values from around $85,000 to under $38,000. That's nearly $47,000 in value destruction during normal ownership. Despite the Escalade's cultural cachet, these numbers prove that prestige alone cannot protect your investment. The Jeep Grand Cherokee has developed a reputation that extends beyond off-road capability, and not in a good way. Consumer Reports ranked it among the least reliable vehicles for 2025, and Car Edge data shows approximately 52% value loss from its $55,000 starting point. The current fifth-generation Grand Cherokee has been recalled an astounding 15 times since launching in 2021. Electronic problems plague owners, with infotainment screens going blank randomly, leaving drivers without navigation, climate control, or backup cameras. The 4xe plug-in hybrid variant has faced recalls for sudden power loss, creating dangerous situations for unsuspecting families. When reliability concerns make national headlines repeatedly, used buyer confidence collapses. Many purchasers paid significant dealer markups during the post-pandemic buying frenzy. Now they are discovering their SUVs are worth $30,000 less than what they still owe on their loans. The 2025 Dodge Durango still delivers rear-wheel drive and available V8 power, but with roughly 59% depreciation, according to industry analysis. Owners watch their $62,000 investment shrink to around $25,600 in 3 years. Dodge continued pushing last call special editions, but the novelty has completely worn off. High-performance Durango variants are losing value even faster as enthusiasm for the muscle SUV trend fades. The fundamental problem is age. This Durango generation is ancient by automotive standards. While competitors added modern safety technology, hybrid efficiency options, and refreshed interiors, Dodge kept selling essentially the same vehicle year after year. Data shows one-year-old Durangos averaging around $43,500 in resale value, representing over 30% depreciation in just 12 months. That is approximately $19,000 vanishing in a single year of ownership. The Jaguar F-Pace is essentially the walking dead. Jaguar announced 2025 would be its final year, yet somehow these SUVs continue rolling off assembly lines into 2026. With around 56% depreciation, F-Pace owners lose approximately $30,000 in 3 years. The real issue is not the SUV itself, which drives well and looks gorgeous. The problem is Jaguar's brand implosion happening in real time. The company announced it is transitioning entirely to electric vehicles while discontinuing nearly all gas-powered models. F-Pace owners now find themselves holding an orphan vehicle from a brand in retreat. Warranty support, parts availability, and the entire company's future are massive question marks. After 5 years, these vehicles can lose over 70% of their value. Why would anyone buy a used Jaguar when the brand itself might not survive in recognizable form? Land Rover has perfected the art of building beautiful vehicles that become worthless. According to CarEdge data, the Range Rover Sport drops approximately 55.5% of its value in 3 years. The 2024 Range Rover Sport has been recalled 5 times for serious issues, including oil leaks, transmission failures, and rear camera malfunctions. One recall addressed transmission oil pressure drops that caused clutches to shift into neutral while driving. That is a safety nightmare. Online owner communities overflow with complaints about electrical gremlins, air suspension failures, and infotainment problems that dealers struggle to resolve. One owner described their Range Rover Sport as beautiful but fundamentally unreliable. Another said they love how it drives when it actually works, which is not often enough. The Alfa Romeo Stelvio suffers from what I call the Alfa curse. It is absolutely stunning to look at and genuinely enjoyable to drive, but the resale experience is catastrophic. With approximately 61% depreciation, Stelvio owners lose about $29,800 in 3 years on vehicles starting around $49,000. Alfa Romeo's tiny American dealer network creates headaches for service and parts. Low brand awareness means most used car shoppers do not consider Italian luxury vehicles when browsing. Alfa's long-standing reliability reputation continues scaring away potential buyers. The driving dynamics might be class-leading, but when everything else works against you, second-hand buyers simply are not willing to take the risk. Your loss becomes their discount. Number 3. Range Rover. The flagship Range Rover looks like it should hold value. The commanding presence, genuine luxury appointments, and prestigious badge suggest exclusivity that buyers would pay for. Reality tells a different story. With approximately 68% depreciation according to industry data, some Range Rover owners are losing well over $70,000 in just 3 years. When base models start around $115,000 and options push prices much higher, we are talking about staggering financial losses. Reliability nightmares drive this collapse. Insanely complex electronics, finicky air suspension systems, and astronomical repair bills terrify used car buyers. That combination absolutely destroys second-hand demand. Once the 3-year warranty expires, buyers run. Nobody wants to own a Range Rover without manufacturer coverage. The repair costs are simply too unpredictable. Wealthy buyers figured this out years ago. They lease, write it off on taxes, and hand it back before the warranty ends. Everyone else gets burned. Number 2, the Alfa Romeo Tonale. Alfa Romeo thought Italian styling could crack the compact SUV market. They were completely wrong. With nearly 61% depreciation, Tonale owners lose approximately $28,000 in 3 years on vehicles starting near $46,000. Sales numbers tell the brutal story. Only around 3,400 Tonales found buyers in 2025, nowhere near Alfa Romeo's expectations. The sparse American dealership network, limited brand recognition, and persistent reliability concerns create the perfect storm for value destruction. The 2024 Tonale has already been recalled 6 times. Owners report transmission delays, battery drain problems, sensor malfunctions, and build quality issues that crushed buyer confidence almost immediately after launch. The used market reflects this reality harshly. A 2024 Tonale with around 20,000 miles recently listed at under $20,000, down nearly 59% from its original sticker price of $48,000. That is a devastating loss in minimal time. Taking the top spot is the Maserati Levante, and it is not even close. According to IC Cars analysis, the Levante depreciates approximately 63% to 72% of its value over 5 years, depending on variant. On 6-figure SUVs, those percentages translate to catastrophic dollar losses. A 2023 Levante that cost around $89,000 new might now be worth only 30% of that original price, according to CarEdge data. Some owners are saving over $113,000 by purchasing 2-year-old examples instead of buying new. Everything that plagues other luxury SUVs hits the Levante even harder. Low demand means few buyers even consider the brand. The tiny dealer network creates service nightmares. High maintenance costs scare off budget-conscious used shoppers, and Maserati's reliability reputation provides zero reassurance. Here is the ultimate irony. The Levante contains a Ferrari-derived engine, yet its resale value is worse than vehicles costing a fraction of its price. That is the Maserati promise in 2026, Italian prestige with financial devastation. There you have it, 15 gas-powered SUVs that turned into financial disasters in record time. Which one shocked you the most? Or worse, Are you stuck driving one of these depreciation disasters right now? Drop your horror stories in the comments below. I want to hear from owners who have experienced this firsthand. And if you made it this far, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps us create more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.